We are back again with the Moses Lumala Legends at Dawn. Did he say was in Kenya?
Yeah, because my dad was here. My mom was in Kenya, but I was okay. Nothing was nothing. I would actually say that things have changed now, because I grew up from a humble family. We didn't have a home. We were renting. I dropped out in senior 4 at Modern Senior Secondary School. I'm a senior 4 dropout. I never did my senior 4. Yeah, I went into the world of business. Because of course, even before I dropped out, I used to hustle around. I used to do a lot of work. I used to hawk. I was a hawker. I used to sell whatever can make me money. I did tailoring. I sold milk on the streets. I sold paper bags. I sold oranges in the car park. Cutting the story short, when I dropped out of school, I joined. I had a friend called Zaitevesi. I was a footballer because I was a footballer then, so we used to play football together. Zaitevesi. Then he was selling cassettes, radio cassettes. The cassettes, he was selling cassettes. And he used to buy them from Kasiukira. So one day comes to me, because I was idle, but doing other things which can earn me some little bit of money as a young man. He told me, if you can buy what they call a dabba, it was a double deck cassette. If you can buy one, you can start recording tapes and I can sell them for you. Because this is what I'm doing and I'm buying the cassettes from. You can make some good money. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna look for the money. I'm gonna tell my dad if he can give me the money. My dad had a small shop. Okay, then we had our own house, which had 2 shops. Then we were sleeping in one of the shops behind. It had about 3 rooms. So I go and tell my dad that I want to start a business for dubbing, selling cassettes. But my dad was so tough on me. He said, "You want to get spoiled," because he knew I used to gamble. I was a gambler, small time. But those playing cards. Then we had that. You see a bean. You cut a bean in 2 pieces. Then you put them on your arm like this. When they fall down, if 2 faces this side and 2 faces down, you are the winner. But if 3 face down, 1 face up, then you lose. So we would gamble, put coins there, and then we even used to gamble by making like a small pothole, throw coins in the pothole. Whatever you throw in the pothole is what you take. So because I was in the ghetto, there was a lot of gambling in that area. So even when you make your little money, in the evening go and gamble. Maybe if you can make more money. So when my dad got so tough on me, he was like, "I will not give you the money because you want to spoil the money. I know you want to go and play what is called in Uganda Zara." So I was like, okay. So one time I got lucky. I gambled. I played those cards and I got about like 200,000 then. I think
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Just 200,000.
Yes. I think 200,000. I went to town and bought a dabba at 160,000, if I'm not mistaken. So I started recording tapes. But the funny thing is, My dad had a shop. He had a shop, and when I started recording tapes, he phoned me in the night recording tapes. And he was so happy. And I was like, he even told friends, now, you see, Lumala is doing so well. He's a hardworking.
Yeah.
He's hardworking, he works all night. He doesn't sleep. But I was like, you man, you refuse to give me the money to start this business. And now, in my heart, I was like, even when I grow up, I won't give you a coin of mine. But it was just childish. Yeah, so he gave me a table in his shop. I started recording tapes. So from one daba, I bought a second one. Because those days you would record, a tape would take an hour. Because 30 minutes, then you change it and record another side, 30 minutes. So it was, you'd record only 10 tapes in the whole night. So if you have to do like 2 boxes, because each box had 10. Each box had 10. You would take 2 days. Like, okay, I would do day and night to have 20. I would start in the morning, do 10, in the night do 10, then give Zaid to go and sell for me 2 packets. And business those days was so profitable. After selling 2, I would go and buy 5. After selling 5, I would go and buy like 8. So I bought the second daba, the third one. I had like 4 dabas. Then came the decks, which would record faster. So I bought the decks. I became a big supplier for tapes. And I started hawking myself as well. We used to sell tapes, but now came in the buffet of then. They would just buy empty tapes, write on the names of the singers like Basude, Fred Sevata, the names of the song. Then they would sell empty tapes.
Since they're empty.
Yes. So you buy a tape, take it home, it's not playing. So when those complaints came in, I had a friend who was called Kamal. He was like, if I can have a tester, a radio, cassette, so that I can test what you're giving me to sell. So you got one big radio, cassette. So when they would say that you guys you're selling us empty tapes, they would test them, hear the music, forward, another song, forward, another song, then you would sell. So we started selling like hell. We were selling. I remember the most artists I used to sell, it was Fred Sevata. Then there was Basude, and Fred Kasozi, Matia Kakumirizi. Then the South Africans, Lucky Dube, Vene Chakchaka. So whenever they would make new songs, it would be hot cake. We would sell so many tapes, just dub like 10, 15 boxes of just one singer, Vene Chakchaka. When Fred Sevata Dole Omwana comes out, you dub a whole like 10 boxes of Dole Omwana. So I made so much money in dubbing. But then I was juggling football and hockey. I wasn't very good, but I was good, but not very good. Because we had boys who were so good, but of course they didn't excel. They were so good, but they were not hardworking. But me, I was good, but not so good, but I was very hardworking.
Maybe you never gave it time like
No, I was hardworking. That's why I excelled to go to some clubs. Yes, I excelled to go to some clubs. I played for city clubs from my childhood football, Vika football, because I played in the first tournament in the Vika. So Some coach from City Cubs, he was called Mr. Steven, came and scouted some of us, took us to City Cubs. From City Cubs, I got lucky and the late in Seleko picked me from City Cubs to KCC, which is KCC today.
But then you were good, because when I hear about KCC, then if a club has spotted you from a club like City Cubs, and then, okay, City Cubs were a feeder club?
Yes, to KCC.
Okay.
Yes, but they would just pick a few. So I was spotted by the late Moses Beat, because I had this body and I was strong like him. So he was soon retiring, and I had a lot of hair. He named me Bob Marley. Yeah, so if today someone comes and says, Bob Marley, I was like, this person should be knowing me so well, because those are footballers of them. They called me Bob Marley. So he wanted me to replace him. He even told some of the players that when I retire, this guy, Bob Marley, Bigere. So I used to play in the defense, number 2. So he put me in the midfield. I was there for some time. I even played a match in Nakivuo. I didn't have a license, because I was supposed to get the license the following year. So when I went back to our football field at Clock Tower, and then UCB Football Club, they came training that side. Then there were few. They wanted some of the players to come and join them to make 2 sides, 11-11. So they chose some of us to join them. So after that training that day, Jim Omoding picked me. It was like, come to UCB. And he promised me that I would give you a license in UCB. So I don't know how, but I left KCCA. And I think I disappointed Moses in Seleko. Yeah. Then I think that's when he picked George Beston Simbe, because he was our type of, it was like me, the body, and Moses in Seleko. He picked him and did so well. He went on the national team and stuff. So I went to ECB. That very year, I was given a license to play. There's one player who was called Nafas Ouma. He was playing in the defense. I used to be on the substitute table. I'm at the main bench. I was on the bench on the substitute. So I got lucky, and it was lucky because maybe I would have waited a little longer. But Nafas Ouma got an injury. So Ben Amoding told me to replace him. So I played my first match. In fact, it was a tough match. We were playing against Express Football Club, and then those are very tough teams. They had people like Sekatawa, Mukasa, Gasso. It was very fast, and I was assigned to mark Mukasa. Ben Omoding told me, your assignment is to mark Mukasa, Fred Mukasa. If he goes to the bench, if he goes out,
you go with him.
You go with him up the touch line. If he comes back, you come with him. Whenever he goes, if he goes from this side where there's a striker, he goes to the side of, go with him. That's your assignment, and that's exactly what I did. And that day, Fred Mukasa did not score a goal. I was so like I contained him. Yeah. So I played that whole. Now when Nafas Ouma came back, they had to look for a place for him, because this place are now taken by me. Then I came on the first 11. So he put Nafas Ouma in the middle of the defense. He used to play number 4 instead of number 3. So I played for a whole season. but Isidu was relegated. And then, so I didn't go with them down. I went into business.
Does that mean that was the end of your football career?
That was it. That was it.
That was so quick.
Because my people who I was close to, like Zaid Tebesiga, I always talk about Tebesiga because we were too close and playing together. In my whole career of football, I only got one injury. I played from childhood so many years. Then I played in City Cubs for 2 years. I played in KCC, training with them for almost a year. I played in UCB for. I only got one injury, and that injury was given to me by Zaidi Tevesigu. We were playing, we used to play football at club level, and in the evening we would go at our field there and play till dawn, till it gets dark. So one day I hit my knee, my joint down. It's the only injury I got in football. That's how strong I was. I never got injuries. Footballers get injuries now and then. I used to see them, but me, I got only one injury in my whole career in football. Then from there, I bought my first car. So from there, I went to business. I went to Japan. Worked in Japan. I had a spare shop in Katwe, in Chibuye. Then we had a driver there called Issa Numba. Issa Numba was lame, but he used to make his own cars, rally cars, modify them. So one day I had a friend called Padeka Kinda. He said, you can go and watch rallying. Let's go and support Numba. So we went to Mukono. You see that road coming from Kayunga? They were coming from Kayunga. They do sections in there, and they come from Kayunga, come to Collins Hotel, eat lunch, then go transport section to Jinja, that side of Jinja. So for us, because we don't know how to watch, we went to watch from transport section in Tamak. So these big boys come, Karim and Tamak, they are slow, they go into for lunch, and from lunch. So Numba comes like after so many hours. Even when these guys went to Jinja, came, ate lunch, went to Jinja, came back.
Before Numba shows up.
Came back to Collins Hotel, and Numba was coming from Kayunga.
Oh, yeah.
So, but he was fast on tarmac because he was late. So I was like, hey, Numba is better than everybody here. I was like, Numba is so fast. Because me, I thought riding is about speed. Yeah. So thereafter, I started loving rally from there, and then I told my friend, I had a Levin supercharger, my own car, personal car. I told my friend, next time don't leave me when you're going for what? For a rally. So it's called Padeka Kinda. Then after like a month or so, there was a sprint in Lugazi. So he called me like, let's go and watch a sprint in Lugazi. I went with my car. So while I was there, I saw these guys were slow. They had, because in those days, rally cars were junks made. If you have a junk car, you put a different engine, you enforce it, and it becomes a rally car. The only people who could afford factory prepared cars were Karim Hirji. In fact, it was only Karim Hirji then, because he had like 4 cars. He had a kid with him, sometimes with him. So there were few factory prepared cars.
Yeah.
But all other rally drivers will find a junk car, go and buy an engine, and live from here, make it sound so loud, put in roll cage, and that's a rally car. And those were slow cars. So I went to that sprint, and as they were driving, I was like, these guys are slow. I asked Paddy, can they allow me to drive? I was like, yes, I know them, they can allow you. So he goes and tells them this young man wants to drive. Like, oh, you can pay the entry fee and start driving. And I didn't have a roll cage, so I paid the entry fee. Then it was just, you don't need a navigator. It was just going round, and so I went round and I beat everybody. There were about 10 cars. I beat everybody. Everybody was like, wow, young man, you are so good. But I wasn't. Okay, I knew how to drive a car. That's it. But those cars were so old. My car was a new car from Japan, used car from Japan. So my car was just faster than their cars. It was a good car. It compensated my experience in driving to beat them. I beat them the first round. Now I remember that this so well. Haji Gombe comes to me. And it's like, because Haji Gombe was a rally driver, but that day he didn't drive, he was watching. He was a spectator. He comes to me and he tells me, Mwana gwe, ovuga bulungi nnyo emmotoka. Era ojja kuvuga emmotoka. Naye ekintu kye nkulabyeko kiri kimu, okwata nnyo steering. Alika, steering obeera onyulanyola mu board. Ngamba, oh, kale sebo mpulidde. So I was like, hey, I asked my padre, who is this? Those are the rally drivers here. And I was like, okay. The rally drivers told me, I have to shake the steering, you know, don't be there like rigid. And because this is why I was driving. I was driving like no more, you know, me, when I'm going into corners, I just turn my corner, back, then this, accelerate. So I go into the second round. When I started in my car, not a rally car, my normal car, I was going for the second round. So when I started like this, I remember what the senior driver told me. Oh, you know, Kolashi?
You have to be playing that
steering. Yeah. So when I started, in the first corner, I did the steering like this. I went into the bush.
Oh. And now you are like,
so I went off, but still I didn't damage the car so much. I drove and I won. I came back the third round. They made us drive so many rounds because they wanted to beat me. Like you said, you have 3 rounds today. So I beat them. Second round I go off. The third round I beat them. Like, no, 2 round in the fourth round. I beat them 2 round in the But they failed to beat me. And this very thing was done to me at Karim's farm. When I had become a driver, a rally driver, I had roll cage and everything. I used to be so good in the sprints. I remember we went for a circuit. So I beat everybody. Because Karim Hirji brought a golf. So they shared the golf. Him, Karim Hirji, Sam Sali, and Karim Hirji and Sam Sali, yes, and Gerard Shido. But we were supposed to drive 2 rounds. Then we closed the day. We drove 2 rounds, I beat them. Then Karim tells the officials, "Ongelem round in there."
We wanted to make sure I punches you, right?
The other round, I beat them. Other round, they beat me. Until when they beat me, the bagamba I sprint So that's how I joined rallying. I started rallying in 1995, if I'm not mistaken. It was Kabaka's. No, it wasn't Kabaka's rally. That's the first rally I drove. It was Kabaka's birthday rally. I bought a Mirage. From the Mirage, I bought the Galant. From the Galant, I bought 165. 165, I bought it in 1997. I drove 2 like rallies, it got spoiled. I bought it from Makato. Then thereafter.
Was that the Baga Baga name?
Yes.
I keep on hearing.
Yes, this was the Baga Baga. Yeah, that Baga Baga name came from my daughter.
Oh.
I brought the car home and it was making that noise, baka, 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 baka. So it gets spoiled and I take it to the mechanic, to Emma's place to be fixed. So I come back home and my daughter was like Dad, what is baga baga irua? Baga baga. I was like, what is baga baga? Baga baga irua. Baga baga iri, baga baga. So I was like, okay, she means the rally car. So from that day I named that car baga baga. Yes. So I bought it in 1997. I drove a few rallies. The engine got spoiled. Emmanuel Kato took the engine from me because I didn't have the money to repair the engine. Yeah. Of course, he was like, no, I sold the car when it was okay. But Charlie was so close to me, he went to him and told him, Emma, Omwana mukole the engine. You repair the engine for me. Because the engine repairing the engine was about, it was about 15,000 pounds to repair that engine.
That was huge, man. That car was a Group A car?
Yes, it was. Yeah. So, Charlie told Emmanuel, repair the car for him.
Don't miss every bit of the episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, HubSpot. Follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook for live motorsports news and updates. More of the episodes, subscribe to our YouTube channel.